Okay, so what you're going to need to make a bug is you're going to need a spool of wire. You're going to need a little piece for the tail to connect the end. You're going to need a body, a head, eyes, and then I'm going to put little eyeballs inside of mine. So I'll show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your wire off of the spool completely. So just unhook the ends and then just unwind it. It's going to curl back on you. That's okay, don't worry about that. And then get rid of the spool. Then you're going to take the wire and you're going to just straighten it out a little bit. And you just have to put your finger and put a little tension on the back part of it. But don't crimp it and don't bend it. So you need to have a lot of patience with this. Then we're going to put the two ends together. If they're crimped a little bit, you're going to want to straighten them out. You might have to use a flat tool for that to straighten them, which would be fine. And then we're going to put those two together and we're just going to go down this. Now if this twists or bends, you're going to have to fix it because it needs to stay straight. So you're going to have this. Then we are going to take our little tail. This is actually all backwards. I'm going to flip these around a little bit. You're going to take your little, the little part for your tail and you're going to thread that through. So just put that on and run it clear to the end where you twisted it. And then you're just going to open it up a little bit, put it right where that center is, and then fold these two pieces around and pinch them. I usually just pinch them with my fingers because if you pinch them with a tool like this, sometimes it'll get uneven and a lot of times it will break your little tail piece because these are just glass beads and some of them are plastic, so they're pretty fragile. Then you're going to pull this and you're going to put on your body. So we're putting the body on both of these. So if you have like some really, I've got some ends here that are not very straight, I am going to put them on the flat part of the cutter, not where we cut, but on the flat part. Make sure you stay up on the top of that. If you get down to the blade, you're going to cut it, and you don't want that. Okay, then we're going to put our body on. We're just going to stick these two pieces right through here. And then we're just going to thread them down, and we're going to put them as tight as we can on where this little tail piece is. And then we're going to bend the tail up and that'll kind of lock it. Then we're going to do our legs. So this is a shorter piece of wire. This is probably a 4-foot wire. Some of you are going to have 6-foot wires and you can make longer legs. This one you won't be able to make very long legs with it. So we're just going to push it out like this and then we're going to make our legs. To make our legs, you go out as long as you want. This is going to be a short-legged bug. So I am going to take and I'm just going to put it over. I'm going to make my legs about this long. I'm just going to hold it here and I'm going to start to twist. And my arm may get in the way, but I'll show you here when I'm done. So you're just going to twist, 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 twist. I like to put little pads on the bottom of their feet to make them stand. If you're going to put jewels or little feet on the bottom, if you're doing a grasshopper, you would have put that on first. So see, I just twisted until I have the little pad for my feet. If you want that smaller, you just keep twisting to whatever size you want. Then we're going to make sure we check, and we're always going to take the longer of the two wires. So this one, see, is longer. So this is my next leg. So I'm actually going to go this direction because this is the only leg I have here. And I'm going to fold this down until it matches. I'm not bending it. I'm not breaking it. I'm not breaking the bend. I'm just bending it over. If you can't get a good little loop on it, just take a tool and put it in there and that'll give you a little bit of a circle. And then hold this straight down here. This leg's going to be on this side, so I'm going to start twisting, whichever way I want to twist. Left or right, it doesn't matter. Whichever way you're the most comfortable with. Now here in a minute, you're going to have to make sure you're not getting these tangled up or your head isn't going to go back onto your little guy. So I'm going to kind of look at this and I'm going to eyeball. those look pretty close. I'll just make that a little bit rounder by going in here. But those are pretty close, so I'm just going to leave that, and I'm going to stretch this out. Then I'm going to go to this leg. Now I want to move these under here a little bit because I'm going to have to put my body on in a second. So this one's already over here. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to bend it over. Same thing. I am just going to hang on to it flat right here. Hang on here, and then twist. And I don't know if you know how many legs a bug has, but every single insect has 6 legs. So if you said 6, you're correct. 6 legs. Arachnids have 8. We are not doing spiders. So there will be no 8-legged creatures. There'll be no 4-legged creatures. There's only going to be 6-legged creatures. So there's leg number 2. So now I'm going to come here. I'm going to check again. I'm going to get the longer of the 2, which is this one, which means this is the next leg. So I'm going to get this piece out of the way. I'm going to go here, measure it to this one. I'm going to fold it, just bend it over. Oop, I'm about lost the eyeball. I'm going to go here, hold it, and twist. Once again, towards you or away from you, it really doesn't matter because you're doing each leg individually. And once you start, just make sure if you start going one direction, don't stop and go the other direction. Okay, so now we've got one going this way, one going this way, so we don't have to measure them. We know that this one goes over here. I'm going to go around, measure that again to my leg. I'm going to make sure it gets in the front. I don't want to twist it around there. Make sure it's nice and flat on the front. Twist again. If this little guy gets in your way, just push him out of the way because we'll put him where he belongs here in just a second. So we're going to twist, 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 twist. And as soon as the little pads, feet pads, look about the same, I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go to this side. And I'm going to have to check because they're both on the same side. See, this one's longer, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to get this little fella out of my way. Just going to tuck him back by my thumb and bend the one that's longer. Because if you end up using the shorter one, you're not going to have enough for antennas or for the rest of your body. Okay, I'm going to put this right in front and twist. So you always have to stop and measure. So basically, once you start this bug, you need to make sure you're in your own space. You need to make sure you're not visiting with people. You need to make sure you are paying attention to your bug. Because guys, if you stop and try to start these again, it's really hard. I can't even do it. Once I start a bug, I had to take a bug to a meeting today because I was right in the middle of it and I couldn't stop it. So I had to just keep going. So now I've got all my bugs. I'm going to take this and I'm going to twist it just one time. And then I'm going to pull these 2 straight. Oh, look at that. I got lucky and they're the same. If they're not the same, don't worry about it. You're just going to thread it on both of these. And we're going to push this all the way down. This is the head of my bug. So I want this to be really, really, really tight here. Now I'm going to do the eyes. So I am going to I'm doing a little bit of a tricky eye. Some of you, this will be a little harder. So I'll show you a different eye when I show you in person, but I'm going to put a little eyeball on here. So I'm going to take this and thread it on. Then I'm going to put this little eyeball on here because I like making them kind of buggy-eyed. I'm going to put that little eyeball on there. And then this is really tricky. I'm going to have to take this and I'm going to have to thread it around this one and back in to this one. And I'm going to go ahead and take this just to the eyeball because I'm not putting any wings or anything on this one. So see how I went right through and right back through the eyeball? It's kind of hard because I got a lot of gold going on. I don't know if you can see. Right there and back through the eyeball. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to start pulling it through. Now the tighter this gets, the better. So you want to pull that really, really, really tight. And then we're just going to leave this here for a second. We're going to put another eyeball on this side. If I can find the hole, sorry about that. Oh dear. Where's the hole? There it is. Okay, sorry, there's a lot of little cuts on that one. I couldn't see. And I'm getting blind. And so I'm going to put my little eyeball on top. Once again, I am going to take this. I'm going to go around this little guy that's moving on here back into this eyeball, and I'm just going to pull it back. So you want to try to keep the blue part as close to your head as you can when you're pulling this, because then it will suck up a lot closer. Otherwise, you're going to have to take and move it back and take and move it back and take and move it back. And that's okay. That's okay too. You probably won't be able to get it as tight as I usually do the first time. So now I've got these two wires hanging out of here. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to make sure these are pulled really, really, really tight. And I'm just going to twist them because I'm just doing antennas now. So I'm going to twist those two eyes and then stand them up and see how that gives it a really cool buggy-eyed look. And then I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm just going to hold them up, and I'm just going to take my finger and put some tension on them, and that's going to make my antennas. So I'm going to cut my antenna right here because that's as long as I want them, and I'm just going to leave them there for a second. Now I'm going to do my legs. I should have 3 on this side and 3 on this side. I apologize for the gold counter and the gold wire. Okay, so we're going to just go here, and you're just going to bend and then put the pad of your foot out. Okay? Bend, put the pad of your foot out. Bend, and if your pad of your foot's going a little weird, go ahead and do it, because maybe he's taking a step. Who knows? So now I'm going to go over here. I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it. Down, pad of your foot. Down, pad of your foot. And now I'm going to take him, I'm going to set him down. I'm going to put his head up and his little bottom. That's my husband's stomach growling right there that you guys heard. And I'm going to put his little feet down. I'm going to hold his body whenever I move a foot. And then I'm going to take the antennas. I'm going to put them back. If you want to, you could put a small, one of the really tiny beads that we have in our collection at the end of your antenna. You can just leave the antennas like this, or you can take one of our really nice tools that has the rounded edge, put it on the edge, and then curl it back like this. We're just going to give this a few twists because she's pretty fancy. Then I'm going to turn it around when I do this one so they're both on the outside edge. Don't ever do anything on the same direction. Always go to the back side. And there's our little bug.